Welcome to the second last episode about the Constitution of Kenya. These two special last episodes deal with the national security. This is a very, very sensitive area. What does the law talk about the national security? Remember, we talked that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Now we are dealing with those forces under these two last episodes. This is chapter 14 of the Constitution, National Security. Part 1, the national security organs. What are the principles? Why do we have national security organs? Article 238. Why did we create the national security organs? The principles are 238.1. The national security is the protection against 1, internal and external threats to Kenya's territorial integrity and sovereignty. So they are there to protect internal and external. So the threat can be internal and external. 2, we aim to protect the territorial integrity. In the second episode, we dealt with the territory called Kenya. It is permanent. And that is why we have the head of state. The state of Kenya cannot be moved. The president swears to defend the territory called Kenya. Not an inch. Whether desert, whether it is what, and that's why the president has been very categorical that Migingo Island is in Kenya. Not an inch of the Kenyan territory can be taken. 2, the sovereignty. The people are sovereign. Article 1, we said, we the people, we are the sovereign. The person we have mandated to protect we the people are the security organs. Then it says, its people. The security organs must protect its people. There is no way the military will turn against its people. There is no way the police are supposed to turn against its people. It is there to protect their rights. That is the reason why the national security organs exist. They are there to protect the freedoms. More so, they are there to protect the property of the citizens. They are there to protect peace of the country. They are there to protect stability and the prosperity and other national interests. So in summary, Article 238.1 has provided why we have national security organs. Their job description, as I've put it there, you have listened to it. Then 2, how do these people operate? Are they above the Constitution? Are they above the law? Is the police inspector above the law? Article 2 says the national security of Kenya shall be promoted and guaranteed in accordance with the following principles. 1, national security organ is subject to the authority of this Constitution and Parliament. All these people are subject to this Constitution. You are the sovereign. The Inspector General of Police is under you. The CDF is under this Constitution. That is how it is. They are under the civilian control. Number 2, national security shall be pursued in compliance with the law and with the utmost respect to the rule of law, democracy, human rights, and the fundamental freedoms. As they are pursuing the national security, they must respect the following things. 1, they must respect the rule of law. That is why you must be arrested and be taken to court. That is why you must be taken to court. That is why you cannot be killed. That is why you cannot be tortured. That is why whenever the police abduct anybody, the courts give an habeas corpus. That is why the police cannot shoot you. And once they shoot you, IPOA arrests them. So they are under the Constitution of Kenya. That is why the military cannot use the tanks against the Kenyans. We saw the military come out of the barracks during the Gen Z demonstration. They can never shoot against a citizen. The guns are there to protect citizens. So they must respect democracy. You have never seen the military come to take over power. They will never take power in this country. It was attempted in 1982, the coup, when the Air Force tried to overthrow the president, the lawfully elected government of President Moi. For around 12 to 18 hours, soldiers from the KDF came and crushed that mutiny, and President Moi was installed back. In Kenya, the KDF cannot take power. Those who are in Gen Z, hoping that the military can take power, Article 3 of the Constitution is very clear. You can only form government in this country through a ballot. And that is why they are told they must respect democracy. They will serve whoever is sworn in as the president. The law enforcement officers are loyal to the government of the day. That is why when they were loyal during Uhuru's time to the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, President Uhuru Muigai, when William Ruto took over this arms as the commander-in-chief, immediately they became loyal to the commander-in-chief. The police are loyal to the government of the day. They are not loyal to anybody, because governments are created by a democracy. Whoever wins the race, if Omari will be in the race and I'll be the next president, all the national security organs will be loyal to me. If you want to be a governor, they will be loyal to you as a governor. Then they have got to respect and obey the human rights and fundamental freedoms. Article 37 of pickets, demonstrations, that is why the security organs must follow through. See, in performing their functions and exercising their powers, the national security organs shall respect the diverse cultures of communities within Kenya. They cannot start arresting the Mijikenda people because of the way they are dressing. They cannot start beating people because they are dancing and burying their people in a particular cultural manner. The security organs must respect the diversity of the cultures, the diversity of attitudes of different people. How are they recruited? Section, that is 238D says, recruitment by the national security organs shall reflect the diversity of the Kenyan people in equitable proportions. You have seen the police recruit from every tribe, every ward, every constituency. They recruit to have the national security organs must represent the general face of the ethnic tribes in the country. Now, 239. Which are these national security organs? 239.1. There are 3 national security organs. 1, A, in 239, it is the Kenya Defense Forces. 2, the National Intelligence Services. And 3, the National Police Service. Those are the 3 of the 3 security organs. How do they operate? They operate under what is called a National Security Council. You remember, during the presidential election campaign of William Ruto versus Raila Odinga, there were allegations that members of the National Security Council went to Bomas of Kenya to influence Chebukati, the late, to steal the election of William Ruto. Those members of the National Security Council. That is the first time Kenyans heard about that there is something called the National Security Council. Today, Court Helicopter brings it to you. It is you who created the National Security Council under Article 240. What is this animal called the National Security Council? It says there is established a National Security Council, and the council consists of 1, the President of the Republic of Kenya; 2, the Deputy President; 3, the Cabinet Secretary in charge of defense. Any minister who will be in charge of defense will be a member. 4, the Cabinet Secretary in charge of foreign affairs. Anybody. So, in defense now, right now, I think is a good lady called Cabinet Secretary Madam Soipan. She sits there. Foreign affairs, for right now, we have Musalia Mudavadi. He sits there. The Cabinet Secretary for Internal Security. For now, we have the minister, the current minister, that is Kipchumba Murkomen. He sits there. The Attorney General, whoever is the Attorney General. For now, we have a senior counsel, Dorcas Odor, sits there. G, the Chief of Defense Forces, General Kahalangi, the one in charge of all the army. There's the CDF. The CDF is the overall. There's the army commander, there's the navy commander, there's the air force commander, but there's the CDF sits there. H, the Director General of the National Intelligence Service. Currently, the Director General is the former DPP Nuruddin Haji. He sits in the National Security Council. Then, lastly, the Inspector General of the National Police Service. Those are the members who sit at the National Security Council. What do they do? What do they do? Number 3, the President shall preside the meetings. What is their mandate? And this is now when you want to understand how the President knows everything in this country. Have you ever worried the President comes there and calls you and tells you, I know Omari, you are the one unapika changa hapa. I know you do this. Now this is the organ that the President uses. It says, the Council shall exercise supervisory control over national security organs and perform any other functions prescribed by the national legislation. They supervise all the organs of security. 4, the President will chair the Council. A, what do? They integrate the domestic, foreign, and military policies relating to national security in order to enable the national security organs cooperate and function efficiently. Remember, Kenya we have other countries. They have their militaries. We have other militaries in Uganda and all other countries. Kenya, this is the council that deals with foreign issues, local issues, for the benefit of Kenyans. 2, they assess and appraise the objectives, commitments, and risks to the Republic in respect of actual and potential national security capabilities. They assess the risks. Do you remember when Raila Odinga died? The president, people are blaming the president that he has not announced. Such announcement poses national security issues. The council had to sit and plan how the country is supposed to be secured before such information as the death of Raila Odinga can be released to the public. It is not a simple matter. Some information, for example, when terrorists attack, the National Security Council must sit and secure the country before the public is told of what has happened. So this information, before the results, the national elections are released, who is going to be the president of the country, the National Security Council must be briefed. For example, you saw when the elections were almost being announced, several trucks with water cannons heading to Luo Nyanza. Hotspots must be secured. That is the role of the National Security Council. If a serious earthquake happens and we have 10,000 people dead, the National Security Council must meet to mitigate what to do before that issue is resolved. So the president deals with two councils. There is the cabinet. The cabinet does not deal with matters of security. The cabinet for matters national security is the National Council for Security. The National Council for Security. Then it moves on to say, the council shall report annually to Parliament on the state of the security of Kenya. Every year, the council reports to Parliament. And anytime, 8, the council may, with the approval of Parliament, deploy national forces outside Kenya. It is the council that deploys Kenyan forces out of the country with the approval of Parliament. The Haiti issue, it was not the president, it was the National Security Council that made a decision to deploy police forces to Dubai, to Haiti, and that was taken to Parliament. 2, they can also deal with regional or international peace support operations like the Haiti and other support operations, and they approve the deployment of foreign forces in Kenya. If the Kenyan situation becomes hostile, we need to get soldiers from Israel, we need to get soldiers from America to come and help Kenya. Only the National Security Council will approve. Do you know there are training facilities for foreign soldiers in this country? If you go to Nanyuki, if you go to Nanyuki, if you go to Gilgil, if you go to some parts of this country, you'll get foreign soldiers training here together with Kenyan soldiers. Only the National Security Council will approve this. And they monitor and review whether we need this issue. So that is the role of the National Security Council, as today we have put it there. The second organ is called the Kenya Defence Forces, KDF. It is established under Article 241. What does it say? There are established the Kenya Defence Forces. The Defence Forces consists of 1, the Kenya Army, 2, the Kenya Air Force, and 3, the Kenya Navy. Those are called Kenya Defence Forces, KDF. What is the mandate of KDF? In that said, they are responsible for the defense and the protection of the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the Republic. They defend the sovereignty of the people and the territory of Kenya. 2, they shall assist and cooperate with other authorities in situations of emergency or disaster and report to the National Assembly whenever deployed in such circumstances. They can be deployed during emergencies. Whenever the bridge collapses, whenever the road to Mombasa collapses, you hear KDF has been sent. They take their bridge, mobile bridge, they can be deployed to do that. Whenever there is a disaster, for example, during the Westgate attack, they were sent there. Their fire brigade will be deployed there. So let nobody cheat you that they cannot be deployed in situations of emergency, but with the approval of Parliament within 7 days after they have been deployed. Then the question is, people have been asking, how does KDF go to build schools? How does a military barrack go to build a university? For example, in my home county, Nyamira University is being built by the KDF. How do the military go to KMTC? How do the military to build hostels? How do the military go to Kenya Meat Commission? How do the military go to build roads? The answer, people think the president has gone beyond the law. The answer is here. In Article 241, free C, they may be deployed to restore peace in any part of Kenya affected by unrest or instability with or the approval of the National Assembly, and they can be deployed in any circumstances where their services are required. So section Article 241 sub-article 3 B and C, the military can be deployed to build schools because that is an issue of emergency. Then they have their own way, what is called the national, they have their own system called the National Defense Council. There is established a defense council. The council consists of the cabinet secretary responsible for defense, who is the chairperson, the CDF, and 3 commanders, the principal secretary. These ones are the ones who promote. You have seen military people being promoted. The defense council sits, they promote and retire military people. Then they forward the names to the president to appoint those who have been appointed. The defense council is the final body for promotions of military officers. Part 3, the most unheard of entity, the National Intelligence Services. Article 242 creates what is called NIS. It started originally as other organs. It was the flying squad. Originally it went to the intelligence and other issues, but the Kenyan people, it used to be under the police, under the Commission of Police. Today we have a professional body called the National Intelligence Service. 242, there is established the National Intelligence Service. The National Intelligence Service, and I want people to understand this. People don't know what this entity does. Court Helicopter only brings it live. It says the National Intelligence Service is responsible for national intelligence. It gathers intelligence, national intelligence and also counterintelligence to enhance the national security in accordance with these constitutions. It also performs any other functions prescribed by the national legislation. What is national intelligence? National intelligence is in the security sector. That is only one limb. NIS looks about the commercial interests of this country. It will gather intelligence on commercial interests. It will gather intelligence on minerals that are available in this country. It will gather intelligence not only on crime, on where we are heading as a country in intelligence, on economics, social life, on infrastructure, on civilian issues. So it is the totality of intelligence. National Intelligence Service feeds the national security organs with information on everything. So people who are in the National Security Service, NIS, are every professional. It has teachers, it has lawyers, it has engineers, it has journalists, it has doctors, it has every tax person. The National Intelligence Organ is the totality of everything government does. But the code of operation, the only fish identified with the National Intelligence Service, is the NIS boss. That's the Director General. Many people have attacked the NIS, that they have been involved in abductions, they have been involved in committing crime. The NIS has no police powers to arrest anybody. The NIS does not involve itself in operationalization of implementation of the NIS, of the intelligence reports. The NIS gets information, for example, of crime, people who are poaching, killing elephants. It is the police that deals with that. The NIS will get information of drugs being brought to JKI from abroad. It is the police who will deal with that. So get it very clear. NIS is never involved in operations of local civil matters. It only gathers information. They are not licensed and they don't do that. Then counterintelligence. NIS staff work outside the country, just like other espionage centers like CIA, FBI, the Mossad. All those agencies, they gather intelligence from other countries for the benefit of their country. NIS staff must get intelligence from in other countries to bring to the Kenyan government agencies to make decisions. For example, when we want to do business with a company from China, it is the NIS staff that will be sent to do due diligence on the capacity or to deliver on those issues. Therefore, I'm appealing to everybody that let us not demonize NIS. It is a very critical infrastructure in the running of a country. National security is only but a fraction of what the NIS people are doing. They are very critical on the food security. They will ensure the security of food, the security of human beings, the security of properties, the security of government, and how the country grows. The president has talked about going to Singapore. NIS must have done a lot of intelligence work to provide with the president on that. And the president's decision is majorly based on intelligence reports that are generated by the NIS team, and that is why I took time to explain that the establishment of NIS is completely very, very critical, and they were never involved in any abductions because you can never identify who is an NIS officer. They operate chini ya maji. Theirs is intelligence gathering. We now come to the most controversial, the National Police Service. There is established the National Police Service. And the National Police Service in Article 243 consists of A, the National Police Service, and the Administration Police Service. There are two. The National Police Service is a national service and shall function throughout the country. No county government has a police service. All police officers are employees of the National Police. They are not employed by the county. They are national office employees. Then they say, what are the functions of the National Police Service? B, they are there to prevent corruption and promote and practice transparency and accountability. They are there to deal with crime. Let us go to Article 245, the command of the National Police Service. We did this in our court explainer, but because of the festive seasons, we can repeat it. 245, there is established the office of the Inspector General of the National Police Service. The Inspector General is appointed by the President with approval of Parliament. His name goes to Parliament for vetting. B, he shall exercise independent command over the National Police Service and perform any other functions prescribed by legislation. He has the command of the police office. From the police constable in your village, they are all answerable to the Inspector General of Police. Then, under him, there are two Deputy Inspector Generals of Police. In Part 3 it says, the Kenya Police Service and the Administration Police Service shall each be headed by a DIG, a Deputy Inspector General of Police, appointed by the President. And these are the ones who command the two forms of police. Currently, the DIG in charge of the Inspector General, the DIG in charge of the Administration Police is DIG Masengeli. The command structure of the APs is under him. The command structure of the National Police is under the DIG Lagat, Eliud Lagat. These two report directly to the Inspector General of Police. What is their mandate? Their police are supposed, A, to do investigations of any particular offense. Any offense is reported to the police. 2, enforcement of law against any particular person or person. The police will enforce law on anybody, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are a traffic offender. The police, we have the power. Free, he has the power to employ the police, and they join. And in Article 5, we said that any direction given to the Inspector General by the Cabinet Secretary responsible for the police services under Clause 4, or any direction given to the Inspector General by the Director of Public Prosecution. Only 2 people have power to give directions to the Inspector General. That is the cabinet minister in charge of the police at that time, and the DPP under Article 157. The Inspector General of Police only serves for 4 years, one term. Then we have the National Police Service Commission, created under the police. I want this clear to come out. People have been talking about the DCI. Who is the DCI? The DCI is an office under the Inspector General of Police. He is a director of criminal investigations. All criminal investigations fall under the office of the Director of Criminal Investigations. The police, normal police officers wear civilian clothes. No, the normal police officers wear uniform. You'll get them, the OCS has uniform, traffic police officers have uniform, riot police officers have uniform. The APs are in uniform. The DCI is a specialized unit allowed to wear civilian clothes. They don't wear uniform. They operate incognito. That is why they use civilian number plates of vehicles. People have been asking, why don't they use vehicles that are registered in the GCAI? The police standing orders allow the DCI to use vehicles that are not registered in the number plates of the police. 2, they operate outside the uniforms, but whenever they will arrest, they'll give you an ID showing that they are employees of the DCI. So the DCI operates within the law. The structures of the police, they start from the police post, where they are there. It comes to the police station. From the police station, they go to the division. From the division, they go to the county police commissioner, county police commander. From the county police commander, they go to the regions, that's the regional police commander or the regional criminal investigations officer. Then they go to the national office, and where we have the DIGs, then we have the Inspector General of Police. Then we have the National Police Service Commission. This is the commission that deals with matters concerned with the police. Those other police service, 247, Parliament may enact legislation establishing other police services under the supervision of the National Police Service and the command of the Inspector General of Police. In bandit-prone areas, there are police reservists. You'll hear there are police reservists. There are people given guns and they provide security. Then you say, he's not a police officer. How can he exercise the functions of a police officer? The reservists are provided for under Article 247, but they are under the command of the Inspector General of Police. They report to the county police commanders, they report to the OSPDs in their respective areas, and they are monitored and regulated. Now you know the organs of the national security. That marks the end of chapter 14, which we have dealt with. We now deal with the final one, that is the chapter 15 as the final episode. Enjoy your Christmas and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.